I'm only talking about this because I think it's very funny, and I know people are going to want to watch this due to how insane the fan base of One Punch Man is when it comes to Saitama. Because when it comes to Saitama and his fans, even people who don't really watch or read One Punch Man, they're just people who watch like maybe season 1, and ever since they've been riding Saitama without a license. So this video is not a serious video, it's just me kind of responding to them. Because especially with what's been happening in One Punch Man recently, I gotta admit, Saitama got way stronger than he was. Like, months ago, before I took this long break, I made a video about Saitama versus Uncle Grandpa, and how Saitama didn't really have anything on Uncle Grandpa's level, because Saitama's best feats were like multi star level, maybe galaxy level, and then you have Uncle Grandpa on the other hand, casually manipulating the plot and fighting his own animator and having universal feats like shaving the entire universe. It's like, yeah, okay, he is very strong. But Saitama was not up to par. But now, given what we found out about God, I'm pretty confident that by the end of the series, at the very least, Saitama will be universal and actually 4D. Not 4D as in like 3-dimensional space and one of time. Everyone is 4D in that sense. Everyone that experiences time is 4D, including me and you. But I mean that based on what God seems to be, and the fact that Saitama most likely will fight and defeat him eventually, I think it's fair to assume that Saitama will eventually be 4-dimensional, 4 spatial dimensions. Which is great for him, because he would be way stronger than a bunch of other characters that he wasn't able to beat before. So if you're a Saitama fan, that's great. I mean, he's still not going to be able to beat everyone, and that's kind of what this video is about. Because, let's put that into perspective. Saitama so far hasn't even gotten to the level of God. And we know this because when he fought Garo, we can literally see on the panel the difference in power between the two. And while Saitama was consistently stronger than him, you could tell that by the end of the fight, Garo was actually stronger than Saitama was at the start of the fight. Meaning that it's not impossible for people to be stronger than Saitama. Also, it kind of shows that Saitama wasn't infinite in power, he just can grow infinitely. And Garo had just like a bit of God's power. And that by the end of the series, Saitama will be way stronger. Like literally infinitely stronger. He would go from a 3D being to a 4D being. Very impressive. But what I'm getting at is that he's not this all-powerful soloing fiction and doing whatever he wants. He's just not. We've seen his power being quantified in the manga. And eventually, he will jump to being 4-dimensional if he wants to fight God, who is stated to be extra-dimensional. Hell, maybe God is 5th-dimensional. Who knows? But what I'm getting at is that he's still infinite tiers, even if you put him at that level below a lot of characters. Cosmic Armor Superman is one of them. In DC, there's a bunch of statements, there's a bunch of scaling, there's a bunch of stuff, and I'm not gonna bore you with it because, personally, I'm not even an expert. I only read some DC comics. But at the very least, there's a bunch of statements saying that there's like hundreds of spatial dimensions, or sometimes and even infinite. Beyond that, there is the Sphere of the Gods, where characters like Darkseid are gods, yes, but also they're archetypal platonic ideas beyond space and time, or even the concepts of space and time. They're like living concepts. So you have characters on this level infinitely above characters who are like 3-dimensional or 4th-dimensional. And then you have Cosmic Armor Superman seeing Limbo, which is higher on the cosmic hierarchy, then the sphere of the gods, as a 2D kind of small thing at the top of his finger. He essentially sees most of existence in DC as flat and two-dimensional. That's how powerful he is, right? So when you have someone at that level that sees infinite dimensions and beyond as two-dimensional, and I'm not even getting into the weeds, so this is the most basic way I can put it. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible so everyone can understand. Saitama right now is three-dimensional, and let's say he defeats God. Well, that's actually an infinite amount of power more, because you add another axis to his strength. Another dimensional axis. He would be able to fight 3D characters the same way you and I would fight a 2D character, for example. Like, that's how we view them, and that's how he would view 3D characters. Well, okay, so he's at 4-dimensional, that's pretty cool. Well, he would need to go infinitely again to get 5th-dimensional, infinitely again to get 6th, infinite again to get 7th, etc. and etc. And even after that, if he does all those infinities an infinite amount of time, he still will not get at the level of true form Darkseid. You know, you have to go even beyond infinity of infinities. And then there is an infinity between Darkseid and Cosmic Armor Superman. At least one, might be multiple actually. But the point I'm getting is that, sure, if Saitama kept fighting stronger and stronger opponents an infinite amount of time, and then an infinite amount of time, and then an infinite amount of an infinite amount of an infinite amount of time, then yeah, he could get that strong. What I'm getting at is that the difference between Saitama and the true form Darkseid, and then the difference between Saitama, a true form Darkseid, and the Cosmic Armor Superman is just so vast that he will have to be way stronger than he is right now, and way stronger than we've seen God being at this point in the series, for him to even be close to Cosmic Armor Superman. This is not even a versus battle, this is more of a rambling about the strength of characters, and I'm probably gonna cut a lot of it into editing because I'm rambling, as this is a rant, kind of. Yeah, like, it's just, I don't know, it's not... Saitama could be that strong, don't get me wrong. Maybe tomorrow he comes in and he's like, okay, actually, I'm gonna beat True Form Darkseid or something. I don't put it beyond One Punch Man to create a character as strong as True Form Darkseid and make Saitama slap the shit out of him. I just don't think he's right now there, and we know he grows in strength. He's not infinite, he's not unlimited, he's not this, you know, all-powerful character. We literally see him grow in strength. And as far as of right now, I would say he's like galaxy level maybe, and by the end of the series he's for sure gonna be universal and 4-dimensional. But will he ever be on the level of like high tiers in DC Comics or Marvel? Probably not. I mean, he could be, but I don't think so. So yeah, that's my TED Talk for today. Sorry, I just had to talk about it.